Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Trading Syndicate. I'm JJ, and it is Wednesday the 17th. It is a Fed day. Happy Fed Day, everyone. Hey, Kevin, how are you? What's up, Alexander? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever this madness finds you. We are through contract rollover now. The old contract is dwindling down to just under 70,000 contracts. We're at 148, 149, somewhere in there on the new one. And as we buckle down for the next quarter, here we go. Here we go. Well, overnight inventory is still short. We have a poor high in the overnight at 74.5. So there's competitive selling here. We had a B profile yesterday. We did a look below and fail of the previous day low. So price went outside yesterday's range and quickly came back in. That's almost like when you put your foot in a swimming pool and the water's too cold. But what happened was we went underneath the previous day low, and our friendly neighborhood short sellers came in and grabbed everything on the cheap. So now we're paying 66.88 as opposed to 66.53, 54. So all the cheap stuff got taken up in Globex. That's how you want to look at these profiles. You want like a nice, normal, practical way of looking at the market? Check this out. Okay? You look at yesterday's low, and when the price goes down and comes back up, what it means is that was like a fire sale, right? We had a sale, but it was like at 3 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning. So only those crazy people who stand in line with the lawn chairs, they're the ones who got all the cheap goods down here, right? Now, inventory is still short because the bulk of the trading is underneath yesterday's close, right? We're looking for a move higher, but we have a poor high at the overnight, so we're going to have selling here. And we've had selling at the close here for hours. So that's kind of the breakdown of what's going on. Now, of course, all of this is conflicting information, right? So I've been talking now for a good 4 minutes. And it's starting to sound like gibberish. But there's a reason. It's a Fed day. So there's no direction. Okay? It's going to trade slow. A couple of things we're going to look for. If we don't get an inventory correction up, look for yesterday's low to get tested and the overnight low to get tested. Got it? If those break, here are the scenarios. One is a break of that overnight low and go, or a look below and fail, right? Or the worst, the look below, fail, go back and forth and just drive everybody crazy by going sideways here until the Fed. We'll see what happens. Those are the scenarios to the downside. Upside, of course, are if we take out that overnight low, overnight high, next target was yesterday's high. And remember, 2 p.m. Eastern time. My friends in UK, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Do not be in a trade unless you're insane. And if you are in a trade and you're trying to trade the Fed, you don't get to cry and whinge and moan like a little kid when they drop their ice cream. Okay, you've been told. Don't trade at 2 o'clock. If you do, there's a rule. There's a new rule in my trading room now. Right? If we tell you not to trade it, you trade it, and you blow up your account, you don't get to whine about it. Okay? No more whining and whinging about blowing up accounts. Okay? Right? Exactly. Go stand in the corner. You all have a cell phone, it's got a clock on it. No more mollycoddling traders. Right? 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 As Red Foreman from the 70s show would say, don't be a dumbass. Okay? I think I'm going to bring back the term dumbass. Are there any plans for going live on FFMC just to watch? Sometimes I used to do that, but I asked this morning VS Squad, and only one person wanted it. Nobody seems to want it. Yeah, I don't think you guys could handle 1997 JJ. If you made trading errors, Hank, I would actually lock you in a room and not let you out. And burn you with my cigar. It's kind of a tough way to learn. But I have built several fund managers doing it. Oh yeah, you guys wouldn't be able to handle the way I run a trade desk, the way I run an office. Remember, I was working pre-human resources, right? When you could throw phones at people's heads. Right? That's how we learned. Right? We would encounter physical pain when we made trading errors, or if we hesitated. It'd be painful consequences. No participation medals. So let's go look at this thing. We could squeeze out a trade or two before 2 p.m. That would be nice. Really, the way to trade today has been to build a position. There was one good liquidation, right? What time was that liquidation? It was like 9:45 my time, which is like, what time is that in New York? It's like 5 in the morning, right? There was one good look below and fail, and I missed it. I was just walking back to my desk when I saw that. Yeah, dang it. That was the one good move trade. The rest of these trades, this has just been, look at just, but it's, we knew this was coming. It was just chop, 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 stop, chop, 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 chop. And now they're just trying to get up. Let's see if we can get up to the close. That 62 area? Yeah, this this is interesting. That the market likes to go in M period and catch a lot of people short because that's that last half hour and it starts shorting. Everyone starts shorting, looking for a break and to put in a new day low, and then it just shuts off. They grab all that cheap inventory and then all the way back up. So they catch a lot of people short here. That's why we spent time and volume here, right? None of this crap is coincidental. Look at where that M low is. Look at where the point of control time-wise and volume-wise. Check that out. There's a lot of short covering. I think yesterday and today, the overnight, call me crazy, and I don't mind if you do, but I think the last couple of days have been quite a bit of short covering. Not with P profiles, but with tight profiles, B profiles, which are generally used to build long positions. But who in God's name would be building a long position at the all-time high? I suspect it's short covering because we don't know what the nature of the business is, but the amount of time. You look at yesterday's point of control. It was 13 wide, right? 13 wide up here. POC is at the M low, exactly, AO, right? Exactly. Right? Look at that point of control, 13 wide, almost every single period except for E and F. It was almost a perfect POC, right? Today, 18 wide at 66 half with volume, right? Right? Time and volume at the same price. The real field marshal? Okay. What's going on? Well, let's see. Let's see. It could be interesting. I don't know what the hell they're going to do with these interest rates. I have no clue. All I know is if they don't lower them, there going to be some pissed off longs. Hey, Black Swan, I do not have any delay. It might seem like there's a delay because of YouTube. No. And I don't trade that quick, Black Swan. Now, if I was one of these algo sniffing hedge fund partnership Patagonia West vest wearing matcha drinking traders, I might have to go spend a couple of $100,000 on some data. But I'm okay. I don't trade that fast. I'm in and out. Usually my trades are a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. So far it's been fairly stable here. And I got fiber in the building, which is, I kind of lucked out. The building that I'm staying in has fiber. No, I don't, not for me. What's up, Josh? How much pressure is on the Fed to cut? Those are questions that I have no way of answering, unless that was a rhetorical question. Where are you in the UK, Black Swan? What's up with what's going on with that one, Kevin? Is it moving? Is it cranking? I think I still have. You're in France? Oh, I don't know what you're seeing, Kevin, but I see a very inactive stock. Sorry, maybe. Yeah, you should be all right. You should be okay there. Well, trap longs are at the overnight high, right? And I would say it's selling competition from wholesale up at 73 to 75. And we seem to be well bid at 61, 62, right? Where the last couple of hours we've one time framed higher off of. So STU, TUV, W, and X are all higher. Now let's see. Here's the first spot of interest right here. Is yesterday's close. Let's see if we can get up and over yesterday's close. We're above VWAP, so that's good. Now what is the natural course of business? If you have inventory between 61 and 69, what are you going to do with that inventory? There you go, Moran. You got to turn that into cash, right? You want to take that and sell it above the close. I don't know, between 70 and 77 maybe. Exactly. All right, we want to sell that. We got a fresh batch of suckers coming in, right? You could smell them. Right? They're coming in, all eager for fast money. Right? They're all just salivating for that quick buck. Right? Pushing up against the door. Right? Right? Let's take advantage of that. Right? You want to get rich? Yes, buy 5 contracts. Make you a star. Not a bad idea, Josh. So we want to try and get rid of our inventory. Now, right here, 8 minutes before the open, it's telling me that they're front running the close. So we don't have enough. of those suckers pressing up against the store yet. Let's take it down and get them excited and see if we can do this. Otherwise, we're going to have to put it on sale, which is still okay, but not as exciting. Remember, we've also taken away the credit card for a lot of the suckers, right? Because margin rates are higher, right? Because it's a Fed day. So there's not going to be as much follow through. So, how do we manage our expectations? How do we manage our business? If you're long, you sell into strength. Don't try and hold trades on a day when you have a lot of chop. Make sure you get paid and make sure you're not holding on to useless, mispriced inventory, right? Don't sit around. Don't wait for an invitation to sell, okay? Make smart business decisions, Alexander. Right? And half of that is knowing, hey, what kind of climate am I doing business in? What's it like out there? You know? After 2 p.m., what do we have to deal with tomorrow? What's left? Not tomorrow, Friday. Is Friday options expiry? Someone was saying it was. Yeah, so just trade your primary setup if you are trading today. Thanks, Crafts. That's true, Black Swan. The reason is because those are the last trading periods of the day. And a lot of size tends to transact at the end of the day. Ooh. Yeah, a little distribution here. See how the point of control crept up there? So they're coming for it. I'm really curious if we can get above the A high. I mean the close, excuse me, the close. There's my little stick for the open. I just lose that thing somewhere. Point of control just creeping up, right? They're coming for it. Right? So the point of control is a fancy way of saying right? That's where all the inventory is priced at. So you notice it was down here at 65 quarter half, and then it crept up here, and then crept up again. And that just means that the distribution of the product that we bought here, we're starting to sell it here. And then hopefully we'll sell it here. It might be a choppy day, so it might go like this. So instead of going like this, right, it might go in stages, right? It might go like this. Because we don't have a lot of follow through, right? It's that slow, creepy price action. See how it's creeping? So the price is just slowly creeping higher. Now let's see what happens once we get to that close. We're at 69 3/4 on the close. Boom, hit the close. See how it hit the close for the first time in hours, right? Since end period, it has not hit the close. So finally, this move down picked up enough cheap inventory that there's nobody standing there. They're seeing a few buyers in now. Here they're coming. They're coming. They're coming. They're coming. They're coming. Look. Next stop, 71 3/4. Right. Let's see if we can open above yesterday's close or below. A little bit of a stop run here. See? That's when the people who were shorting here all went to cover at the same time. And you got this nice little green candle. Now they're going to sell into it. So there's still sellers here. There's still sellers, right? Not a lot of follow through. In a normal market, you'd probably be trading 72, 73 by now, right? Not as much follow through. Yeah, it'll be nice when all this rollover, Fed, everything, all that stuff is done. We can just get back to some normal short squeezes. Right? We just get back to the regular normal short squeezes that we've grown accustomed to. And they're off. Oh. Take it out the upper stops, right? Which is normal when inventory corrects high. Remember, inventory was short. 73 is your target. So they're coming to the store. They're pushing each other out of the way to get to that 80-inch TV. Right? Okay, running out of customers at that stop at 73. Right? They're going to sell into this here. Crap, if I was log 65, I'd be hitting it with both hands. I'd be giving it to them with both hands here at 73. Boom, 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 boom. You want 2? You want 4? You want 10? Sold, 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 sold. Right? Let's see if we can take out that poor high. That should bring in some more buying, and you can bang it out at 77 and a quarter. Or sorry, 76 and a quarter, 76 half. Well, they're going to sell into that overnight high, right? And who wouldn't? You must. If you're a size trader, you have to price compete with others. Here comes the backfill. Let's see if we can hold the close. Exactly. How you doing? I am listening. Backfilling to the close. Bids at the close. Where are they going to sell into it? Remember, they are making sales, so that's why it's kind of creeping a little bit higher. You had that initial rush of people who came into the store and forced price up to 74 because they were just so hungry for it, and we had to sell it to them there. And now we just bought it back from them at 70, and we'll sell it back to them at 72. Right? Now, does it hold the 72s and lift? Have we suckered in another group of buyers to come in? Not yet, not yet. They're wary. Bunch of tire kickers here. Selling what we can. Look at the size. Look at the size. Not the greatest trading environment. If you're doing a look above and fail of 72 and three quarter, your stop's going to be 74. Don't waste much more money on it than that. If we start offering above 72 and a half, 72 and three quarter, be careful. Otherwise, we should go and maybe test the open again on a backfill. Here we go. If you're short, put some bids at 69 and a quarter, quarter half, just in case we dip underneath the close. If we can't get underneath the close, you might have to take the offer. Right? These are step-by-step instructions. No idea yet, Raj. First inventory correction, right? Second, see if we can stay above the close. Right? It's choppy as hell, so it's really hard to call out anything longer than 3 minutes ahead. Remember I said backfill, where are your 69 quarter bids? Quarter half bid, they should be in. If you are short underneath 72 and three quarters on a look above and fail. See, they're taking and bidding, taking and bidding. Hope you covered some. Right. So, if you want to trade chop, you got to understand what's going on in the chop. Then you have to align your trades to that business. I told you to cover it I told you to bid 69 half, and if you couldn't get any, hit the offer, right? Cover. Because they didn't need to sell under 69 and three quarters. So if you were half bid, you wouldn't have gotten filled. If you don't get filled, you take the offer. That's how smart traders trade. Right? Here we go again. Now watch these candles, because they're going to really, really help you here. See if we can come back down to 69 and 3/4. Because what we might have a rotation here. Just a small one. Nice. Well done, Josh. Well done. Beautiful. Way to trade smart. Right? There's that look above and fail of 72 and 3/4. Right? You're 69, 69 3/4, 69 half bid. You're short, what, 72? You're doing this for a couple of points. That's all you got. You know, you're not going to make 30 points here. Right? You trade what they give you. Are your bids getting hit? If you can't get it on the bid, take the offer. Right? Remember I said that they were going to sell this up here. But if they start running out of... There we go. There's that half bid. Boom. You're getting hit. Now that tells you good information, right? That's the first time we offered and hit under a half. Now that'd bring in more sellers. You should have covered. If you were short 72, you should have been covering 69 half. And that's how you trade chop. And it's a lot easier said than done. You're going to screw it up. So be prepared. It'll take some time. We're going to come down to that overnight point of control, and then the offer will lift if there's anything there, like it's doing right now. And let's see if we can get past 72. If we can't get past 72, we're going to sell back down to this 66 3/4 area. Oh. And that's what we do at the Trading Syndicate. It's got to be step by step. It's got to be practical. Where do I put my buy order? Why am I buying it there? Where's my risk? Why is my risk there? Where do I get out? How do I know when to get out? How do I learn when to get out? The other thing about this type of market is don't overtrade it. Take one trade, take two trades, and then hold yourself off. Because right now, look, it's getting slower, right? We're 10 minutes in. We had that initial rush of order flow, like when you turn on a garden hose, right? Right now, the people who got in there, they're like, ugh, I ran in here to buy it. Oh, now they're putting price lower. Well, what do I do? Right? So now there's that. Look how small the candles are getting. You're calling out the close? Do you have a psychic hotline? Run out of the things to buy? Are you mad? Have you taken leave of your senses? There's always more crap to push down your throat. There's always something to buy. Don't worry, we'll invent a product and jam it down your throat by tomorrow's open. All right, here we go. 66 3/4. Looking for 66 3/4 on the downside. I didn't know that we had Dionne Warwick on the YouTube stream with her psychic hotline, or Madame Cleo. Call me now. Oh, by the time the close comes around, I'll be fast asleep. Okay. We just got it floating around. I'm tired of this chop too. We did a good liquidation. Oh, wouldn't it be hilarious if he didn't lower interest rates today? And this thing like drops all the way down to like 6,000? Wouldn't that be a hoot? Look how nobody's laughing. Oh boy. There's 66 and three quarter. Next stop it'll be 64 if we can get underneath VWAP. Oof. We are still just futzing around here, my goodness. If we could get under VWAP, look for a break of 64. I can't tell what it's going to do right now. Logic says it should go lower here and break the 66 and three quarter. But it's being stubborn as hell. There we go. Come on. A look below and fail? Really? Frickin' snapperhead. Dear God, how many people shorted this thing? That's the only reason why it's staying up here is because everyone shorted the holy living crap out of this market. That's the only thing that's holding it up. And the promise of this interest rate cut. There we go, down to 63 and three quarters. Come on. Hmm. It's not very tradable, folks. Ugh. What's the hot stock of the day? We're waiting for this. Tesla's hanging in there above 400. Oracle's still holding that gap. Clean up that Google chart. Yeah, slow day. Uh, Slow day in the salt mine. Yeah, Nvidia had a little bit of a blip, didn't it? Somebody actually said, "We don't love you." It's okay. Leather jacket guy will find a solution. A little look below and fail of 66 and three quarter, long to 69. There you go. Couple of points for you. Right? That's not a bad look below and fail. Typical trade, right? Zip, zip. Long, stop, out. Let's see if we can make the second part of the trip from 70 to 72. Here's the second part of that trip. Looking, see the theory behind this look below and fail, and I didn't make this up. I just use it. Look below, fail, rotate back up to the top. That's rotation. Now, when we get to the top, do we look above and fail, or do we look above and go? Let's see. Yeah, that wind's picking up outside again. So, uh, any news here on the whether you guys want to do a Zoom at Fed time or not? So far, I've only had one person ask for it, and then nobody said yes. So, all right, I'm not going begging. No, I'm not intending. See, that's the other thing, right? I don't want you guys to trade the Fed. Some people like to watch it. You know, it'd be like watching that episode of Dallas when they reveal who shot JR, right? Okay. All right, I'll throw a Zoom link up at 2, just before 2. You know, now, with the amount of cash that these speculators have now, it's such an uneven battlefield to even try and trade a Fed day. Like every successive Fed day, it just gets harder and harder for retail. Oh yeah, I'm sure 75% are asking, what the hell is Dallas? Dallas was our equivalent of your Game of Thrones with cowboy hats. Hey, let's see if we can take out the overnight high. For the room or YouTube? Oh hell, I might as well do it on YouTube. There's going to be a bit of a delay, just so you guys know if it is YouTube, because the action might get fast. There you go, Scalp King. Living up to your name. It's scalpable, right? Now let's see if we can get back under 72 and push down to 69. Because if we did that, I wouldn't mind trading it today if we just traded between 66 and 72. I'll play. There's really no reason to take it higher. We had 3 candles with the exact same high. I think there's sellers there. Ooh, they let it breathe a little bit. Overnight high. If we pop the overnight high, look for the stops at 76 and a half. Broke through the double top there, AZS. I'm going to sell into this a little bit. See how many buyers come in. Remember, there's less people playing today because margins have been raised. So it's like Daddy took the credit card away. There's enough there to creep up 1 tick every couple of seconds. Come on. And look above and tail of the old overnight high. Let's see if we can get back under 72 and 3/4. We'll get some rotation. They're going to sell into it, right? You got to sell into a breakout. Right, a breakout creates buying. What a breakout does is when you take out an overnight high, you trigger stops. Right? Shorts who had their stops there, those stops get triggered. Those are buy orders. Then you get the sucker FOMO longs who always chase breakouts. People who chase breakouts, look at that. Oh, beautiful. Right? Told you they'd sell into it. Right? Right. Now we should rotate back down under 69 and 3/4, right? Why wouldn't you sell into that overnight high? If you were long inventory at, Jesus, 70, 71, 72, I'd be banging it out with both hands at 75. Right? If you have size on 3 points, what are you, nuts? Take the money. Right? Because breakouts, they're beautiful to sell into. Right? You get so many people get suckered into breakout trading. And they just come, it's like they're walking up with their wallets wide open. You have to take their money. Right? They've got blindfolds on and their wallets wide open. Right? You got to hit that. Now let's see if we can get it under 69 and 3/4 if you're short under 72. Yeah. Somebody's being a stubborn buyer here at 70. Come on. Backfill. Come on. Now we want it to rotate all the way back down to 66, but first it's got to go to 69 and 3/4, right? Which is just the halfway point. There's 70. There's 69 and 3/4. Wow. There we go. You folks see the rotation now? Right? Do you see the rotation? Look above and fail. Look below and fail. Look above and fail. There you go. Right? Simple. Once you have a nice rotation and it does this for a while, you just trade that. Take one or two trades and then be done. Right? You don't even have to take the whole rotation. Right? It's 66 and 3/4 to 72 3/4. Heck, you could only, you could take half of it and be okay. Just scalp the rotation, right? Why kill yourself? Right? You have to think about it too, right? Once it broke the overnight high and got up to 75, 76, right? Why would anybody buy the crap out of it on a Fed day? Do you see how it just doesn't make any business sense? You guys get that, right? So why would you buy a breakout on a really slow, choppy day? Right? The business logic isn't there. Trade the rotations, right? Just be smart about it, right? We have been taught, large-sized traders have been taught to sell into the breakout. The goal of my teaching is it go to trade with 1 to 3 micros, getting good at it with low drawdown. Exactly. Exactly, Aaron. That is exactly the goal of my teaching is teaching you how to crawl, right? Without banging into the coffee table, and then how to walk without falling into the coffee table, right? Just build your skill, right? Couple of micros, couple of points, learn how to get consistent, learn how to manage your business, learn how to trade responsibly, all that boring stuff. And then you can just scale it. $66 and 3/4. Now let's see if we do a look below and fail of 66 and 3/4. Now this is a nice trade that you guys can take, especially when it's busier, you get better price action, right? You will get a lot of rotation, right? And the rotation, that's a beautiful thing, right? Now, the difficult thing about rotation is that you are trying to get the right entry. And a lot of people want to have the lowest entry. So say here I bought 67 and a quarter, right? I might be a little early, right? Where's VWAP? Oh, we're under VWAP. Crap. That was not. Let's see. Right? So as soon as you're long, go put your sell orders out, right? Because once it clears VWAP, the next stop is going to be 69. Now, this is the problem on slow days. Usually on faster days, you'll get a quicker move back up because there's more people, right? Double bottom. Right? And you're going to get stopped out. Like, say I had bought 67 and I didn't sell at VWAP, right? Because I had just bought one micro and I didn't hit it out here, so I scratched it. Then my stop would have taken me out anyway, right? But that's okay. You are going to screw that up, especially when it's really choppy like this, right? When it's really, really choppy like this, more often than not, you're going to get stopped out here and there. But that's the nature of the business. It's a choppy business today, right? Let's see what it does at 63. And that's why we use stops. Now let's see if we can go take out. What did we say? Remember we said the previous day low, right? And the overnight low, right? Right? Maybe scalp 64 long to 66 first. Got one left, flat. So I got stopped out here. Well, I went long 67. I didn't sell at 68. So I lost a couple of ticks here. And then I bought it back at 64 when we did the 64 to 66. So I'm just scalping with micros. It's not, I'm not trying to make money today, right? I'm just doing this because I'm on with you guys. Use these Fed days to, don't get all serious about how much money you're going to make, or just be serious about how much money you're not going to lose. Hey, Aubrey, what's up? Base hits are a beautiful thing. How's Hollywood treating you? Oh, he's not on. He's not on Zoom. I'm a little short biased. Actually, I'm short curious. I want to see what's underneath 61. Oh, the levels are working. Man, it's slow. Oof. All right, since you guys are into predictions, what's your prediction for 2 o'clock? Let's see what you guys are thinking. At least it'll get you talking. What do you think? Chop? I mean, after the Fed. after the Fed. Big inventory correction down, maybe? The quarter drop. It'd be nice to get a nice sell-off. Okay, let's see if we can go. There's the previous day low. Be nice to get a bit of a sell-off. It is sleeping. It is. Oof. It's a slow market, but nothing that we weren't expecting. Could I explain between YM and ES? How do you mean, Sandy? I've actually never looked or never look at YM. I haven't looked at the Dow in probably 20 years. Between the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the ES? Well, the number of stocks, right? 30 versus the S&P, right? Which is quite a bit more. Does anybody even look at the Dow Jones anymore? Like, I remember, like, in the 80s and the 90s, it was the big thing. Yeah, I still remember when the Dow broke 10,000, they made such a big deal about it. You know, now it's at 46,000. You look at all four. Yeah, I only look at what I trade. And it's kind of I have a very um, one could call it narrow view of the market, right? Yeah, I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about YM. I don't trade it. I've never looked at it. I've actually never even charted it. I really do have tunnel vision. Oh, okay. Yeah, I like the ES. It's a nice thick market. It trades nicely over 24, 23 hours. Sometimes it's really slow, you know. Sometimes it's just horribly slow. And lately, with all the short squeezes, it's been just really one or two trades a day, right? We have an NQ room. Sandy, if you look right under the JJ Live ES room, there's NQ, CL, Forex, and commodities, and we have lots of NQ traders in there. For new traders, like Sandy's been trading for a while, but for most new traders, it's not good for you to even try the NQ. You're just going to get cut up like crazy, right? But for traders who are faster, and are good at managing risk, nothing wrong with that. When we gap higher, since futures are 23, where does the volume come from? Where does the volume come from? Is some entity allowed to place orders 24 hours a day? It's called the opening auction, the pre-auction. So that hour, about a half hour before Globex opens, Rosmark, there's something called a pre-auction, where designated market makers and large-sized traders start putting in their orders. Sometimes that's why a market can gap up from where it closed to the overnight open. We don't have access to it. Thank God. hmm We can chart it. Thoughts. From a market structure perspective, after FOMC later in the week, we can exhaust the squeeze. Oh, yeah. Now I use continuous contract, volume-based rollover, back adjusted. And I've been doing so for years and it works beautifully. So, Ali, do you want a trade, like a longer term trade? If then? So after this squeeze, right? What are you going to do? You're going to build a short position here, right? I don't know what you're trading and your account size, but if you're building a short position here, you definitely be wanting to use yesterday's high as your out because you got no structure, right, above you to reference off of. So that's where your risk is going to be, right? So say you're a big trader and what you're short maybe 1,000 contracts, right? Right. You're an ex-institutional guy, right? So you're what, short 500 to 1,000 contracts in here somewhere, right? Well, that's your uncle level. So if we take out yesterday's high, then start to covering, right? Unless you have some sort of a thesis. What's your thesis? What do you got up here to reference off of? Know what I mean? Tell me your references and we'll try and build something. Be happy to help. DM me. It's really weird when people ask questions and then you give them the answer and then there's nothing. So it's like crickets. So I don't think he was on the. Sorry, guys. I don't think he was on the video. So we'll see. Nope, more crickets. Okay. Alrighty. What's next, folks? No, still no response. Okay. Well, Right now, this is just ridiculous. Total crickets, eh, Alexander? It's so weird. Taking out yesterday's low, let's look for 59.5. Oh my goodness. I always have to keep checking to see whether the microphone's on. I might start actually cutting down the sessions, the live sessions. We'll see. We'll cut the time. Maybe just an hour instead of an hour and a half. Back above the previous day low. Oh, what are you gonna do? Here you go. Hey, Colin, how you doing? No, it's just weird when people ask questions and you answer the question and then they don't even comment or anything. Or maybe they weren't asking a question. Who knows? It's kind of weird. Okay. Well, Colin, if you've been following along, the reason why you can be so wrong is because you're trying to trade it, the precursor to a Fed day, right? So the the probability that you're going to make mistakes is higher, right? Yeah, narrow stops are good. Maybe focus a little bit on trading a little less, Colin. Spend more time watching. Oh, there he is. God, these candles get any smaller? Good grief. So you folks can always basically just. Somebody this morning asked me, when should I not trade? This is a perfect example of when you shouldn't. Look how small the candles are getting. They're getting smaller and smaller, right? That's good, whatever, man. That's good. Yeah, I mean, as soon as I get off this video with you guys, I'm off. I'm not going to sit and watch this for hours and hours and hours, right? Go do something productive. I'll be around at 2 o'clock, and if enough people are around, we'll do a Zoom. See ya, Hank. Have a good one. Yeah, this is about as slow as it gets. So, folks, a couple of scenarios, and then we'll we won't torture you anymore for this morning's session. I can see that it's laborious. Here's the deal. The next half-hour bar, when it opens up, if you get single prints to the downside and we stay outside the previous day's low, look for the overnight low to trade, right? If it doesn't do that, then look for a look below and fail of the previous day low back up to the open. That's pretty much it. You know, unless we get a surprise liquidation, if we take out the overnight low, look for lower here for that overnight low. Thanks, Joe. Here are some levels for you to look off of. You know, if we get a big liquidation after he's speaking, there are some single prints at 66.36, 66.28.29, right? And then if we get any kind of serious liquidation, look for this area right here, 65.77. You know, if we get a big down day, look for that area. And then, of course, 65.47 is a big level to the downside. Okay? Be careful. This is almost over. We'll be back to much better price action after this. I'll let you folks go a little early. Thank you for being with us during this very, very boring session. Have a wonderful Fed day. Be safe out there. And we will see you tomorrow. Thanks for joining us, folks. Bye for now.